Hi everyone, welcome to Michelle Lorraine. Truth be told, we are in the room today, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. We have, of course, my producer Jalen Richards, and we have over there. Can you see her? This is Rose, my masseuse. And of course, I mentioned we're at Savon Massage. Come on in the room. We have the owner. We have Sophia Denton, who's also in the room. And on Zoom today, because she lives so far away, I was hoping we could have done a dual thing. But we have today joining us Althea Drummond. So we're going to welcome her in the room today as well. And our conversation is about the conflict of transparency. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have on my glasses, so I can't see anything right now, but I don't care. All I'm about for today is getting a massage. I'm going to be getting a scalp massage and my upper, what do you call it? My upper body and my neck, shoulders. And we're all going to just have a conversation about the conflict of transparency. So, before we get started, I'd like for Sophia to tell us a little bit about Savon Massage, and then we're going to hear from Althea, who's going to tell us a little bit about herself as well. Rose says she says she doesn't talk, but maybe we'll get maybe two words out of her today. Let's see if that happens.
Hi.
All right. So I am so excited. Althea, are you excited about this conversation?
I am excited. I wish I was getting a massage.
Yeah. Next time. The next time I do, I'm going to try to make sure I get people in with me.
All
So,
right.
I mean, we had an earlier conversation today about transparency, and that was pretty hot. So, anyways, I'm going to let Sophie take over for a few minutes, and then Althea, I want you to tell us about yourself.
Okay.
Okay, hi guys. I'm Sophie. I am the owner manager at Savon Massage Therapy. We're located in Toronto, Jane and Lawrence area. For those that are interested, we do have registered massage therapists. So if you have benefits, give me a call. A little bit about me. I started this business in 2016, and it was something that I decided to do because it was something I enjoyed, and I do believe that the key to life is once you figure out what you enjoy, figure out a way to get paid for it, and then you never really work a day in your life. So getting a massage is something that I enjoy doing, and most of the times people are pretty positive. Like, even if they come in with a lot of pain, aches, they tend to leave in a better mood, let's say. So it's something that I enjoy. I love all my clients. They're like family to me, and so I enjoy being here and being a part of our community here. I guess my truth is this is not what I went to school for. I actually went to school to be a child and youth worker, and when life hit, I decided that this is something that I could see myself doing. So here I am. Sometimes we get hit with some hard truths in life and some hard realities. You can't avoid them. It's just what you do from there on that I think is the key. So, stressful times, get a massage. Stressful times, start a business. Stressful times, read a book. Whatever relieves your stress, that's what you do. And if massage is what relieves your stress, then I'm here for that too.
That's great. So, Althea, tell us about you.
Wow, my name is Althea. I don't know. I'm a mother of four. I'm a social worker by profession. I never thought I would be on this platform, so I'm a bit nervous. I talk a lot, so that may affect our conversation today. So just pinch me, nudge me, whatever, however you can virtually do it to let me know when I'm going on. I love what I do at work, but lately I've been feeling like my job isn't rewarding. So my truth right now is I've just been on this journey. I've given myself the end of this year to figure out what I want to do because I'm a Jill of all trades. I like weddings. I like event planning. I like nursing. I like social work. I like children. I'm passionate about so many things. So I haven't decided what I really want to do. So just to piggyback on what Sophie said, not having it feel like work and just feeling like I'm living my purpose. I'm really big on helping people and interaction. So I'm excited about today's opportunity because some way down the line, it's helping me figure out what it is I really, really want to be doing. So that's about it. for
Okay,
me.
good, good. So, as we go along with the conversation, I'll just let you know what Rose is doing as well, or what oils she's using. She can just tell us right now. What are you using on me,
I'm
Rose?
using just the regular hypoallergenic lotion.
Okay,
So if you
excellent.
have any allergies or anything like that, it won't affect you at all.
Okay, excellent. So transparency, like, and Jalen, you can chime in at any time. She hates when I call her name, by the way. So Althea and Sophie, call her name anytime you
Don't call
want
my
for
name.
her to
Thank
chime
you.
in. Okay.
Do not.
So transparency, like, how do you define transparency for you, Althea?
Transparency for me is more just being honest with yourself, one, being honest with the people
Around you, I guess you froze for a second there. Okay, so she's frozen for a second. When she comes back, and she can continue. But Jalen, what do you think, or how would you define transparency for you?
Um, you're asking a lot of me right now. As Althea was saying, being honest and
Yeah, being
You know,
honest,
you
open.
know.
Yeah, being open.
can't multitask here.
So can I
Yeah,
jump in?
of course.
Awesome. I'm a talker too, Althea. If you can hear me, trust me. I guess this is why maybe we don't do too good together. I'm just joking. We do great together. We just talk for long amounts of time.
Yeah.
I think transparency is not just about being open, because a lot of the times we're open for the good. And so we can say, yes, I'm an open person because I tell you all the good things that I've done, I've been experienced. Transparency is, it's the good and the bad. So I do feel like a lot of the times we'll tell all of our good truths and our good moments, but we do tend to kind of keep some of our sadder times to ourselves. And so even with social media now, sometimes we then believe what we see, where we're only showing the positive, but sometimes sharing some of the hard truths, I feel, is like the true definition of transparency.
Yeah.
And
It's so
Althea
true.
is back.
Okay, welcome back,
Sorry,
Althea.
guys. Because I live in the bushes, my power just went out in my.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
the whole block. Yeah, the power just went out in Paris completely. I'm so sorry.
That's too funny.
So
Oh
I'm
my
back.
gosh.
Transparency.
Yes.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so sorry.
No problem.
That's why it's dark. I'm so sorry. Being open, being honest, sharing your truth, sharing your ups, sharing your downs.
Yes.
I'm an open book personally. I believe I've been through a lot, good and bad, sometimes mostly bad, it seems.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, let me not be grateful. Ungrateful. I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
But what I find is that sharing my truth, what I enjoy about it is that I'm always able to help somebody or guide somebody or give somebody some tool or just share. And it helps other people just know you're not alone in the things that we go through. So that's what transparency is for me, just being open and honest with yourselves and those who you choose to share with.
Yeah. So, like, earlier today, we were talking about transparency, and the one thing I had sometimes I just have conversation with people, and they share, their thoughts on different topics. And one of the things somebody shared with me is that we as women, we don't handle transparency well. So, for example, we'll say to our girlfriend, we'll say to our husband, we'll say to our boyfriend, whoever it is, oh, be honest with me. Like, be transparent with me. How do you feel that we really, like, how well do you think we accept transparency? Like, how well do we receive comments from people when they speak their truth about us? And that's open to anybody. Like, you know?
I'll jump in. So, I mean, I do feel that sometimes hearing other people's transparency of us is a hard thing. And I know that, I've heard different, what is it called, speakers, motivational speakers talk about, sometimes writing down some things that we have and in a letter and like not mailing it, because we do have things that we need to get off of our chest, and not everything we have to say is going to build up other people. Like, sometimes it's hard, and I think writing things down helps us with our truth and maybe not hurt the other person. And maybe when it gets to a point where you can be open, then that's something you can share. That's my kind of like take on, you know, I do want to tell everybody everything, but not everybody can handle everything, and not everything's appropriate to tell whenever you feel like telling it. So, you know, I think, yes, be transparent, be open. I feel like you can be transparent about yourself at any point, but maybe being truthful to other people, like being sensitive to where they are in their life, because you might be in a good place and you might be strong enough, but sometimes we're hitting people with things that maybe it's just too much for them at that time in their life.
I concur.
Thanks,
you,
Jalen.
Jalen.
And Althea, your thoughts on that?
For me, it depends on, obviously, nobody wants to hear the negative, right? So if you're going to tell me the truth and I'm doing something amazing, of course, you're going to want to receive that. It's when I'm faced with the negative truths that are harder. But I've learned to get myself, I'm still on the fence. There are sometimes, like, for example, you know, like my other half, that's different. If you're going to tell me, you know, say I cook something as simple as that, and you're just like, today was kind of off. I'm like, what do you mean? I think you should have just ate it and enjoyed it and not told me that it was too salty, it was burnt, or whatever, right? You just don't want to hear that. But then there are moments where I really am just trying to be a better person, a better me. So I'm going to call on a friend and be like, you know what? I was at a place and I don't even know what's going on. So tell me the truth. What were you thinking? What do you think I did wrong? What do you think I could do better? And yes, I'm going to feel away when the conversation's over and whatever. But if I take myself and my feelings out of it for a minute and really look at the bigger picture, and especially when I asked for the truth, it's easier for me to receive. Another bonus for me is, for those who don't know, if you've ever met my mom, you would know that I have in the world. Yeah. I grew up that way because my mother never, my mom wasn't the type of person to say, oh, yay, you passed, good job. If I got 98, it was, why didn't you get 100? If I got 99.5, why didn't you get 100? It was always better. Don't think you're that cute. You're not the greatest. You're not, like, it was always something to just remind you of who you really are and what your truths really were. So a lot of times people will come to me and they think it will be offensive, but I'm like, you've never met my mom. It's hard to offend me because my mom is going to be the one person to always keep it real and 100 with me. Yeah. And so because of that, I've been able to grow and develop. But as Sophie said, everybody doesn't have that, right? So it can be a blessing and a curse sometimes. Sometimes I would like my mom to just kind of tell me what I want to hear, but she's not. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just want her to realize that I'm content with where I'm at and I don't want to do anything more, but she's always pushing me and always hitting me with it, right? So, but again, as Sophie said, you have to be very mindful for people and where they are, because sometimes the truth is enough to push them over the edge. And that's something I'd never want to be responsible for. So it's knowing where people are at and being able to kind of deal with them according to that.
I think Jalen had.
Jalen, there's just one question. No, funny. No, there's just a question. Keisha wants to know, how do you respond, or how should you respond when someone asks you for the truth?
Well, I think for myself, if somebody wants you to tell the truth, you have to pre-warn them. I say give them that disclaimer. You are asking me to give you the truth. You have to be willing to hear and accept the truth. I think you need to say that sometimes, because when we say we want the truth, most cases we don't. We
only want the truth
really
if
don't.
It's going to make you feel good.
Exactly. Because we want to hear the truth that makes us feel good. We're having an argument with somebody, we want you to be on our side.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear, no, you're wrong. So you have to really say to people, before you tell them the truth, if you're asking me to tell you the truth, you need to hear it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that with that being said, as much as it's hard to hear the truth, I think living in a lie is not better either. So like people smiling with you, talking to you, or they have, like, let's say some feelings towards you, whether it be good or bad, keeping it to yourself doesn't help you progress, I feel, either. and it can cause a strain on relationships, whether it be marriage, parent and children, friendships. If I know that like there's some tension, but I'm not going to say it because you're not asking me to speak my truth, and I know that I have something, like, then you just live in this pretend world, and like, I mean, eventually it's either going to get to the point where somebody's going to blow up, or or the friendship's going to end because you can't handle the truth that's not even spoken yet.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, before I forget, I want to do a shout out to your mom, Althea. Dorette Gordon, shout out to you. First of all, she's very transparent with me as well, Althea. So,
My apologies in
oh
advance.
my gosh, I tell you, like, so. But with that transparency, now, my thought is that sometimes when we are transparent, it hurts too much, and it causes, because we talked about the conflict of transparency, we end up losing relationships because of that. So how is that, how do you feel about that? By the way, she's putting on it's a nice hot towel on my neck now. Althea, I know you are so jealous right now. Oh my gosh. This feels so amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, you end up losing friendship. Let's talk about losing friendship because of our transparency. What are your thoughts on that topic? Don't jump in all at once.
I know, I am thinking.
You lost
There's
any
two ways
friendships?
about it
Okay.
for me. I have lost friends over the truth, but I also am really big on being true to myself. So if you're going to be a friend of mine, you just know from the get-go, we're going to keep it 100. And I want that especially from you as well. So I'm not the type of person that can give it but not take it. So I'm expecting that from my friend. And if I'm going to be honest with you and it causes you to be removed from my life, then unfortunately that's just a relationship that I think that it has run its course. That's just the way God wants it to be. There are times when I've even had friends tell me the truth, and again, I'm in my feelings. You take a step back, you step away for a while, you don't hear, but then I'm big enough to call you and just be like, you know what, you were right. I probably didn't see it then, and I did feel a way about it, and I respect that too. But I don't want you, as Sophie was, I believe it was Sophie before, sorry, I hope it wasn't Rose, I couldn't detect the voice, but I don't want you to lie to me, because that's even more hurtful for me, that we've been friends for 10, 15, 20 years, and then I find out this whole time you were lying to me. Now our friendship isn't even genuine anyways, and I don't want to be with you or in any type of relationship with you because I can't trust you. So for me, it's better that I shared it with you. You know where I stand. I know where you stand. And if you feel like you have to exit, then hey, it is what it is. And all the best to you as you continue to proceed.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about my relationship with you, Althea.
Okay.
Okay, so I've met you some years ago. We really didn't talk. Like we weren't, I would say we weren't friends, but we see each other, at church. And I used to feel as though you didn't like me, right? And I told you that. I went to you and I said to you, you don't like me.
Maybe you should have prepped me for this.
What did you say?
You should have prepped her for this.
Yeah, and you said, this is about transparency. And I said, you don't like me. Now, I don't have a problem going to people and saying, you don't like me. Oh my gosh, you turned my face this way, now I have to look
Now
at the
you have
camera.
to look right at her and say what you're saying. Talk your truth, yes.
So, but I remember you said, what did you say? You said, why would you say that I don't like you? I said, because you don't talk to me. For me, I felt like people had to talk to me for me to know if they liked me. Then I realized that your character and my character were different. You didn't feel like you needed to talk to me, but I felt like I needed to talk to you, right? And then you said some hard stuff, which was hurtful. And I felt like, oh my God, this girl, I don't know if I want her to be my friend because she's so mean. But anyways, I still liked you. I liked you, and I said, that's all right. I like her. I like her personality because you were quite frank. And I don't mind Frank or Tom, but I don't mind when you're frank with me. but I know that I'm very sensitive. So I feel like, you know, when people are transparent with me, that my feelings get hurt. But I prefer that than people to be hypocritical. And I think
So
that's
can I share
important.
my truth with you now?
Yeah, go ahead, share your truth. Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So
Right?
Wait, hold on.
Let me open the door a little bit.
Yeah, I feel a little hot in here. Go ahead, Althea. Tell me your truth.
She brought me on the show to fight.
No, but I'm saying I liked you. You were very frank and transparent. And I mean,
Okay,
it's
but
always
I'm gonna
been
be
that way
honest.
with me and you. Like, if I see you, I tell you. You know, and
When
you
I-
definitely tell me.
So for me, I'm gonna be very honest. When I first met you, I heard something about you, and I caused that to draw my opinion on you.
Of course.
And so I didn't not like you, but I kept my distance based on what I heard. And life just has a funny way of coming full circle. And I found myself in a situation, and I was able to put myself in your shoes. So I was judgmental to the situation because I wasn't in the situation. But when I got there, it was like, oh, you see, people talk because they don't know. And for that reason, it caused me to look at not only just you, but life in a whole different perspective. It's easy to be on the outside and have an opinion, and people cause that, right? I've also learned that, you know, Sophie doesn't like Michelle, so Sophie tells me something bad about Michelle. And I'm a writer when it comes to my friends, right? So because I have a relationship with Sophie, I'm already putting up a wall towards you because if you did something to her, whether we've had a relationship or not, I've already closed off myself to you. I've learned over the years and experience that Sophie's experience with you may never be my experience with you, right? So I can't take what happened between Sophie and yourself because I wasn't there, I wasn't involved, I don't know how Sophie reacted. There's so many things that go into the situation. So really, I learned something about myself through that because I didn't know anything about you. And I was just picking up from what I heard, whether it be truth or not, just listening to gossip and rumors or whatever at the time. So I learned then, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with you. And that person's experience has nothing to do with you. So let me build my relationship with you for myself. And if I don't like you, then that's because I choose not to, or we don't gravitate. But after that, I was able to conclude and determine that my personality gels with you. Now, I've also been told that I have a resting bleep face, and people tell me that the minute they look at me, they just feel like I'm unapproachable.
That is correct.
And so they assume that I don't like them just by my face. But I'm also one who's afraid of rejection.
Right.
And so if you don't say hi to me, I will never say hi to you, just out of shame, like for you to be like, because you know, sometimes you have some mean girls and they're like, why is she saying hi to me? Like, she's so nuts. So because of fear of that, I kind of step back and know my place until either you say hello to me or we're in a situation where, you know, we're talking and whatever, and then I jump in, and that's how we build our relationship. So a lot of people have told me that, oh, they thought I didn't like them. And it's like, nah, I don't know you. It's not even like that. It's just, if you don't say hi to me, I've been living on the street for 1 year now. You don't say hi to me, I don't have a neighbor, I don't have a friend in Paris, nothing, because if you don't say hi to me, I'm not saying hi to you. If we say hi to each other now, that's a different story. We'll be friends for life. But if you don't talk to me, I'm not talking to you. And I guess sometimes my face, I've been told, I think I smile a lot though, but hey, I have been told that.
It's in the eyes, Althea. It's in your eyes. The smile is always on point, but the eyes.
It's the eyes.
It's the eyes. It's the eyes.
It's the Jamaican in me, you know? Like,
Yeah. That's right.
So actually, I am going to jump in on
Michelle,
this
like,
one.
Rose is talking. Rose is talking. Hold
Okay,
on.
go ahead, Rose.
Oh, sorry, Rose. I didn't
It's okay. It's just that I feel like I have a similar experience with Sophie, just because my face and I guess your face are apparently kind of similar in the resting department. And in the beginning, I'll let Sophie talk, but she didn't like me
I
very much.
did not. I remember, even before I met Rose, like I remember talking to her on the phone. I remember hanging up the phone and I was like, I don't know if I like this one. I don't know if we're going to get along. And we met and that didn't help either. It maybe even made it a little bit worse. And then some time passed and then we got connected again. And like right now I could say like I talk to Rose like about pretty much like everything in my life. And I know that if I need somebody that I can call her, and I know that I think she knows that if she needs somebody, she can always call me. And
Yes.
okay, good. But like it wasn't how the friendship started, and it's funny because I didn't feel that way when I first met you, Althea. Like I never felt any. I was just always like, yeah, this girl's. But we vibe, and we could go months and years. No, that's a lie. You didn't like me. You're laughing. Is there something you need to tell me?
No, I liked you. You just thought it. You see, this is 2 for 2. This is not good.
What? I thought you were nice. I liked you when I first met you. You didn't want me to like you?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were saying otherwise.
No. I liked you right off the bat. You're good. We're good. But I know that I tried to, over my years, I feel like what I tried to exercise is giving people trust at first, and then letting them lose it if they choose to. I did 20 years as a child and youth worker, 10 years in fostering, where I had a lot of kids coming and going out of my home. And they came from a lot of situations where they were given no trust. Group care, you start off with nothing and you have to earn your way to the top of the totem pole. Thank you very much. And when I started fostering in my own home where I can make my own rules, one of the things that I switched with that is I'm going to give you complete trust right off the bat. And it sounds crazy, but I'm going to give you complete trust, and then from there you decide where you want to go. Because in all honesty, I feel like that's how you can truly see transparency. When I give you complete trust, I'm going to see what you're going to do with it. And that's what I'm going to really see. When you have to build it up, people put on a show, I find, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say that. And I feel like you'll quickly get to who people truly are when you give them complete trust. It saves time. Things that you find out 10 years down the line because they've kind of been, putting on the show because they're trying to get to your good books. If I give you my good books and you drop it, then I know, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 10 months. But transparency comes with trust. And for me, I like to say, hey, let me give it all to you and see what you do. And then from there, go.
We have a question. I don't know when it was asked. I'm not Cheyenne. I'm very bad at keeping track of what's being said in the comments. But the question was, are they really a friend if they can't be transparent about it? I don't remember what the topic was. But, I think it still works. Can they be your friend, or are they really your friend if you can't be transparent with them? And before we answer that, to what you most recently said, Althea, Shernette agrees with you. There you go.
I don't know which part, but okay.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't like me either.
Jalen, get on top of it. Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. You know what? I wouldn't say that somebody can't be your friend can you be my friend if I can't be honest with you?
Like, are they truly your friend, or are you guys truly friends if you can't be transparent with them? Like, do you consider that person a friend?
I think you can be friends. Everybody's just made up different. Yeah. Some people really cannot handle it. And again, I'm learning as I'm just aging that it comes from so many different things. So like your upbringing, if you were just never told the truth, if you were always that spoiled child that, whatever you wanted, you got, or people just kind of sheltered you, then it is going to be hard for you to grow up and meet somebody like me then, for example, who's just going to hit you with fact after fact, or what I think your truth is, or the truth is, sorry, not your truth. And especially if it's your first encounter, like imagine me being the first person to just list out all these things about you, Sophie, I don't think you're really a nice person. You're kind of selfish. I don't like the way, and you're just coming at me like that. It's going to be hard to process that. And if I know it's going to hurt her too, then maybe it would be harder for me to say something like, I'd like for you to be better, but I know that maybe an individual cannot handle the truth. So I'm not going to use that to determine our friendship. If you're there for me, if you have my back, if you're somebody I can call when I'm in need, but you really just can't handle the hardcore truth, I don't think that's fair to use that for me personally as like a determining factor as to whether or not you would be my friend. I would prefer that we could share the truth with each other if you're my bona fide, yes, but I do know that some people cannot handle it, and just for that, and I have really close friends that I know cannot handle the truth. Doesn't take away that you've been my girl, but let's just not go there for the peace of God to reign.
And can I just add on something to that too? Sorry. I do also feel too, like when you give people the truth, you give them an opportunity to change. Like if there's an issue, if there's a conflict, and I'm gonna keep it to myself and keeps like, okay, I don't like that Althea, is laughs loud, and every time I go out she laughs loud, and it's embarrassing and whatever the case may be. But I never say it to you. But every time it happens, it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then one day you're going to be like, hey, Sophie, and touch me. And I'm going to get upset with you. I'm going to blow up. And it's because of all of this built up where maybe if I said it a couple months ago, and even if you decide that I'm still going to laugh loud, to me it's like, at least now you have that information and you get to choose what you want to do with it. And opposed to it building up for nothing that maybe you would be like, oh my goodness, all these years I didn't even realize, or everybody tells me and I'm trying to change. Like, do you know what I mean? It could be a changed thing, but then we keep our truth and we hold up, and then we end up building up animosity that sometimes is so unnecessary, where if we just, and I think it's how you present it. There's this episode of The Cosby Show that I love, and I know that it's controversial, but I don't care. I'm going to use it, where Vanessa's getting married, and she just brings it out of nowhere. And Bill Cosby says, tell me what your favorite meal is. Jalen, what's your favorite meal? Fish. Okay, so the nicest escabeche fish with a little bit of pepper and however you like your fish, and it looks delicious, but it's presented to you on a garbage pail. All of a sudden, even though it's your favorite meal, the way that it's presented, it spoils it.
And I think a lot of people have issues with transparency because they believe that transparency is equal to being blunt and saying every single thing that you're thinking, but it's really just clearly communicating the issue, clearly communicating your thoughts, your feelings. It's not, I have an issue with your pink headband today. So it's not.
No. And it's your truth. Like, because if you love somebody, you want them to grow. Mm-hmm. That's my belief. If you care about somebody, and if this is something that maybe, okay, there's a difference of, as Jalen said, you don't like my headband, one thing, but there's something where this can be something that's going to hinder you in the future. Like, I see what you're doing, I see the ways that you're moving, and this is not going to benefit you. Like, take it out of, let's not just talk about me. Let's just talk about you as my friend, as somebody I care about. Althea, I see you and you're doing this and, whatever like that, and I see the good, but along with that, you're doing too much of this, and it's not going to help you in the long run. And as your friend, I want you to know this because I want the best for you.
And if you have a relationship with someone, then that transparency will be more acceptable because you know that they have your best interest at heart. Yeah. And that's important. Transparency is important. We do need to do that. We need to share our thoughts, our personal feelings of what we're feeling towards each other. But like Sophie said, and like everyone's saying, it's how you deliver it, right? Yeah. We have to deliver it in a spirit of meekness. We have to deliver it with a spirit of kindness. We need to share our truth. Because what happens is when we hold it in, that built up will explode eventually. Mm-hmm. Whether it's your own transparency about yourself, of how you feel, or about someone else and what they do or how it affects you, it's important to share it. And to go back to what you were saying before, Althea, getting to know people for yourself and not judging them based off of other people. That is so important because a lot of times when we look through something through somebody else's glasses, their prescription is different.
Yep.
You can't see it clearly when you have on someone else's glasses. You have to put on your own glasses for yourself and see people for who they are to you. So that is very important as well. Go ahead, Jalen.
We have some comments, some questions. No, not questions. Well, Grandma said, Althea, why are you staring at me? I don't know. I don't know I don't know.
Althea, why are you staring at my mother for?
You have issues with my mom? I'm just joking.
Another one who keeps it really real with me.
Really real. 100% real.
1 million.
Shay Lancaster says, I love you, cousins. And she also said, it also depends on how you express yourself to people. If you tell it how it is in a rude way, people are going to get offended. It's how you say things. And Jalissa Brown says, I agree with Sophie. It's not so much what you say, but how you say it.
How you say it, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Oh gosh, Sister Lancaster, I'm sorry for my ears ring. Because my hair is back.
You couldn't hide it with the wig or somebody heard you, right?
I'm sure she's already made a comment.
That is too funny. Jalen, how much time do we have? I don't
Oh,
even
I
know.
forgot that's my job too. We have about 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay, so.
Guys, Cheyenne, we need you.
Yeah, Cheyenne, we missed you, by the way. Just wanted to let you know we missed you on the show. But, again, I think this is a great topic, and I think we are learning a lot about it and even just opening up about the conversation. I do hope that people that are listening or watching are sharing their thoughts with their family, friends, and whoever is in their life, and the importance of being transparent. I believe that even just having a conversation about one topic at a time. You don't have to talk about everything. You don't have to offload everything at one time, because that could be very destructive to a relationship. If you're like I said, if your relationship means a lot to you, take it in bite pieces. That's important. Take it in bite pieces, so that you don't damage the person or damage yourself, because sometimes what happens is once you start being transparent, they're going to turn around and be transparent back with you.
Can I say something? That's a little bit of a kind of a pet peeve for me. A little bit. I'll tell you the honest truth. When I'm like, okay, I've gotten myself together, I've gotten my words together, I've figured out my thoughts, and now I'm going to say to you, Althea, I love you, but whenever you do this to me, it bothers me. And you're going to be like, well, and then whenever you do this, and it's like, so you haven't even acknowledged my truth. And without, like, you didn't come to me saying, listen, Sophie, I need to talk to you. You know what I mean? It's me coming, and as I said, I've gotten myself together, and I've thought out my words. I've taken that time, and I'm ready to present this to you, and you're not receiving it. And not only are you not receiving it, which is one thing, like, I don't want to talk about this right now, whatever, but then you're going to be like, well, in that fact. And so for me, I do feel like, I think being a little bit sensitive to the fact that, like, it took a lot for me to come to you. And opposed to you attacking me because I've said something that might seem like an attack to you, maybe just take a few minutes, listen to what I'm saying, and then let's have a conversation about it. I talk a lot, so.
That's okay. I like that piece, Sophie. And it takes a lot of growth for one to get to that place. And as you said, if you're going to come at me and you're going to say, Althea, I've been feeling this way and I wanted to share something with you. And my first response is, well, let's talk about your pink headband.
Yeah.
Then off the bat that I'm not receiving that conversation. Like, this is not what you intended it to be. Let's just shut it down because now it's quite obvious that I'm trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
You think you're awesome? Let me just come back at you.
Exactly.
And I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes, again, it takes the walking away. So couple years ago, I went through like the worst situation, not the worst situation in my life, but it was like a horrible divorce. And it was just a horrible time in my life, just going back and forth with somebody whom you thought you had a great like, divorce is just nasty when it has to be nasty. So it opened a whole can of worms for me personally. And so I went on a trip with my girlfriend to Bahamas, and there was a moment where she was sleeping and, I was by myself just in the pool. And I can tell you all the things that went wrong in the situation. And yes, the situation was a dead-end situation. It wasn't a situation I needed to be in. And yes, majority of the fault lied on the other person. But it was how I reacted to certain situations. So I had to take the I out of it and just be like, okay, no matter how awesome I thought I was or what I was doing well, I had to look at what wasn't going so well. So yes, Sophie, you said this, but my response to that is what caused other things to happen. You understand? Or my attitude. So I had to really start to search within myself. No conversation with anybody else, just me and the pool, and really just like, okay, these things, and again, a lot of it is growth too. I grew up in a single, like my mom was a single mom, so she's a very strong woman. She's always had like multiple jobs. So I had that in me, and I brought that into a situation where two had to become one, but I was just standing as one. So that as, even though I didn't cheat or I didn't do whatever, what happened is I came in with this strong man personality, and that made the individual feel like, they were less of a man or not a what, like those little things that I just had to sit down with Althea and say one-on-one, what could I have done differently? And when I had that conversation with myself, I realized a lot of things about myself, again, that I never shared with anybody, but I was able to work on them alone, right? And so when I met the new person, I realized immediately how those things wouldn't work. So I switched it up. So to go back from what Michelle was saying, the encounter with the ex won't be the same. If the two of them are talking about me, they have two different people, because I changed. I realized different things. I had to look at myself differently. I answer differently. Things that I didn't realize were disrespectful, words that would naturally come out of my mouth. But it was hard to look at myself. So almost to the point where you kind of feel like I would never, but you would almost want to apologize for the person you were, or just like, ooh, that wasn't really me. Yeah, I would never. Absolutely not. That's just,
We don't go that far.
But, just to be honest, I don't put the blame solely on the individual.
Yeah.
I know that I had a part to play.
Of course.
But I had to be real with me. And I also called my friends, and I was like, okay, I had to have a moment where I'm just like, if I'm coming to Sophie and I'm saying, this is what's going on, and Sophie never once said, girl, you're better than that, or what are you doing in this situation? Or, I had to talk to my friends, and I was like, how comes no one told me that this was a hot mess until it was all done? So it made me question my friendships, right? Because I was like, do you guys really have my back? Because you see me going down this slope, this dead end, this no return situation, and it's no good for my health, no good for like anything where I'm concerned. And not one of my friends ever looked at me and said, girl, because I know we have that girl code where you don't tell somebody to leave their husband or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, where does the transparent piece come in, where you look at me and you're like, this is no good, and you need not to be in that situation? So it made me question my friends, because no one stepped up and told me the truth, right? And when I would talk about the good days, they'd be like, yeah. And when I talked about the bad days, it's like, oh, yeah, you'll get through it. But nobody wanted to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And so, again, I had to look into myself. Is it something about me that makes you feel like you can't come to me with the truth?
Right.
So, again, I had to be transparent with myself.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of growth, though.
Thank you for that, because that's what I wanted to conclude as well, because as we are wrapping it up now, transparency has to begin with ourselves. So we have to recognize where we're at, what our thoughts are about ourselves as well, and to be honest with ourselves about our feelings, about what's really going on in our life. Because when we are able to do that, when someone comes to us with our truth as well, we're more receptive of it, because we already recognize what it is that we're going through within us. So I want to thank Sophia, Rose at Savon Massage for this wonderful massage that I'm having. Normally I would be drawing snores by now, but because I am, trying to be professional and all, and I want to thank Jaylyn for her hard work for getting this up and going for us here, and our guest online, Althea. Thank you for being on here, and for all of you for being transparent in this conversation. Thank you. We will be back on the 2nd of November, the second Tuesday in November. And I don't know where we'll be, but I think the next time I do in the house or in the room, I'm going to make sure the person is in the room with me, whether it's a massage or mani, pedi, whatever the case may be. I want you to be in the room with me. And also, again, like us on Facebook, Michelle Lorraine on Instagram and all that wonderful stuff. If you don't like me, that's okay. You can still like me on Facebook. You don't have to like me personally. That's all right. I'm being transparent. And also, again, if you're looking for massage, come to Savon Massage, because they do accept benefits, right? So if you have benefits, use them up. It's October, it's end of October, use it up before the year is ended and everything. So thank you all for watching us on Truth Be Told. Thank you, Rose, for this awesome massage.
welcome.
Scalp
Rose
massage.
also has a YouTube channel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what's your YouTube channel?
It's called The Rose in the City.
It's called The Rose in the City. So go check out her YouTube as well. All right. Love you all. Be safe and take care. Have a good night.
Thank you.